Hello guys, so what we're gonna do today is a tutorial on Void Expanse. Oops, I forgot to download it. I just deleted it so that I can show you, from the start how it works. So it's a special request from Wilmore from the Void Expanse community, asking me how to, a couple stuff, beginner stuff for starting to mod, the quest, how to create a quest for an NPC, how to create an NPC for the game, how to add items, rewards, and how to add an AI. For instance, if we don't use NPCs that stay in a station. But what we're gonna do first is set up Void Expanse in order for us to start modding. So what we're gonna do is first install it. Normally it should go pretty fast. I've got a really fast connection here, so let's go ahead and download that. It's a it's 1000 gigabits per second, but I don't download at that speed. Obviously, even it's from Bell Telecommunications, the service provider here. They're very fast, fiber optic, very fast. So let's go ahead. Now that it's installed, you're supposed to see Void Expanse in your Steam folder. Okay, so we're gonna go in Steam apps, we're gonna go in common, in Void Expanse, and then you're supposed to have all of those files for Void Expanse. So what we're gonna do is first create a shortcut for Void Expanse on our desktop there. Then we're gonna go to core. Okay, in core we're gonna create a folder called backup. Okay, as you can see here, there's two files. One file here is for the main game, the basic game core.cpk. This is containing every quest. It's containing basic library scripts in order for you to use them when you're modding. It's containing all the content like textures, avatars, and objects like 3D objects. .obj, I think. For your 3D models, if you want to bring in ships to your to the game. And this .dpk file is the first DLC, the Pariah's Bane. So we're gonna copy both of those files inside of the backup. Okay, to make sure that both have been copied. Yes, they were. So we're gonna change the extension there to zip for both of those files. Okay, there you go. Okay, that's done there, almost done, and for that one, and then we're gonna do that one too. We're gonna extract those. Why we are extracting them? Well, it's because we need to go and get some files inside. So we don't need to make a backup of those. Sorry about that. So we're just gonna delete those, and now we need to change this one, this folder's name to cpk.cpk. and this one to .dpk. Okay, once that is done, you can start off with your mod. So in what is going on? Okay, we're gonna go in documents, and I think that because the game has never been started yet, there's no documents for Atomic Torch and Void Expanse. So we're gonna start Void Expanse now. There you go. I'm gonna start Void Expanse so that we are able to see some folders here. As you can see, Atomic Torch folder just appeared now that it's setting up the game, but because it's not been started yet, we don't see the mods folder and the server setup folder. So we need those in order to prepare our mod. So I'm just gonna wait there for Void Expanse to start. I tried to do this tutorial I finished like 15 minutes ago, but the tutorial was like 1 hour long, man. It was gonna be so boring for people to watch, so I decided to do it again. So why is it not starting? There's something with my computer again. Normally it starts super fast. Oh, it's updating something. Oh, it's running. Perfect. Okay. So now that we're inside the game, you can see that some files are appearing. Okay, so we're gonna select that to English, continue, and we're just gonna change right now, sorry for the sound, to windowed, and we're gonna change sound. I should have closed the sound. It's a little bit too loud. But either way, what we've got here in our mods config, because we unpacked those and we named them the same way as we're, well, pretty much similar way that we're going to name our mods here, our mod in the mods folder. It shows here in the mods config that we've unpacked. They are unpacked DLC, and it's an unpacked mod core, right? So in the mods now, well, there's nothing. There's no files there. So we're gonna start here by creating a tutorial file .mpk that we need to name the mods file, and inside mods we're gonna go write content, and we're gonna go write data. There you go. We've got the two main folders there. As you need those for basic mods. It's preferable. You need to copy the license too, in order to be legal. Just follow the rules there about the license and stuff. So copy the license there inside your mods folder, and then you've got the header. So the header, well, from the core CPK, you can just pretty much copy the file and then change what's inside. So in the header, you can see that the game is Void Expanse. The ID of the other one was core, so we're gonna change that to tutorial. And title, well, we're gonna do Void Expanse, okay, tutorial, okay. Author, well, the author, for instance, that would be me for this time. And you put your name there for your mod, and the description is tutorial mod for Void Expanse. Okay, and is it required, this mod, in order to load save game? Well, it's, if you're loading your personal server, it's preferable that you leave it like that. We're gonna leave the version to 1.0.0. This is the first tutorial on the subject. Well, I don't think it's the first tutorial on how to make quests and how to get started with Void Expanse, but it's gonna be my first tutorial for Void Expanse. So minimum game version, we're gonna leave it like that. Updated, well, it's been started today, so we're gonna put the 7th of July 2018. And then you've got the mod type. What is the mod type? Well, is it a server side only mod, or client server, or client side, etc. So it's actually a client server, so we're gonna leave it at 2. Okay, we want the mod to work on both the server and the client. If it was, for instance, just a voice mod like Victoria mod, that is pretty nice for Void Expanse. You can hear a woman instead of a man speaking when your ship is doing actions, when you're colliding with stuff. You're gonna hear a woman speak instead of a man. It's to your preference. You can put the voice of a robot, the voice of a Klingon, man, everything that you want. So let's go. Here we're gonna save that, the header here. Once that is done, we gotta go in data here, in the data folder that we just created, and let's go to core CPK here, and we're gonna go pick in the scripts, and in lib we're gonna go pick NPC generator. So let's go and create those two folders too. It has to you have to keep the same hierarchy for your mods. So not data, but scripts, and then bam, we're creating lib. Okay, and then inside lib, we just copy NPC generator. Bam, that is done. Once we've copied NPC generator, we're just gonna copy the main, the other base files that we need in order for this mod to work. So we're gonna go in NPC. Now the NPC folder, just gonna create one here, NPC folder. I'm gonna go in NPC and then special here. I'm gonna create special, and then bam, we're gonna go and take the special human tech ship. Okay, this is the base, like base XML file for our NPC. We're gonna change that to tutorial NPC XML. Okay, but once you got that, we're not gonna rename it. We're just gonna copy the name because you need to change it inside too. Okay, so we're just gonna change that to tutorial NPC XML, and we're just gonna remove all the effects here. He doesn't need the effects. any effects for this ship. Maybe you can change other settings too later on. For instance, if you want to put an OBJ file, because the game is going to generate the items and ships for the NPCs if you put specific ships and items. It's preferable to not load stuff that is hard on the system. So the whole air ticket is going to generate the vertices, going to generate the faces, the textures for this ship, I believe, even though we're going to leave the AI in the base, and we don't want that. But still, for the moment, for this tutorial, we're going to leave it like that. But if you've got Blender stuff, maybe you can generate just one face. You just generate one face or one cube, and you save it as an OBJ extension file, and you can put this cube inside your contents, inside your 3D objects or 3D ships, so that the game will generate like 8 vertices or like something. I think it's 20 something for a cube in Blender, instead of generating like 250 or 300, 500 vertices for a ship that's never going to be used. But if you're going to use your NPC later on, if your NPC is going to go out of the base, you know, you need to give him a ship that's not going to look like a cube. So let's go ahead. Now that we've done that, we're just going to save that. Perfect. And now what we need to do is actually, just give me a second here. We don't need the topics yet. We're going to need that later on though. First, what we're going to do is go in content, okay, and then in content we gotta go in textures. So we're gonna create a textures folder, and inside of textures we need to create an avatars folder, so avatars, and then inside of avatars we're gonna pick here a character. So I'm gonna select this guy here, and we're gonna change his name to tutorial NPC. Okay, and here, I just wanted to say for the in order for you to change those files here, to change the extension of those core files, you need to have the view set to show you the file name extensions. In Windows 10, you just have to go at the top, click View, and click File Extensions in order to change them, in order to see them. So now that we've got our guy here, okay, we can go in the script that we had. I'm just going to close this page here, and we're going to start fresh. So data, script, libraries, and NPC generator. There you go. Once we've got that, inside of the main file here, you've got at the top which classes this script is going to use. So it's using all of those here. Those are not modifiable, unfortunately. There are libraries that are modable. For instance, the NPC generator.js, it's a library. So in other scripts that might need the NPC generator, you do need to include the specific script that it's going to use. So next, you can see that there's a lot of classes. The scripts are very sharp. They're very concise, very easy to read and comprehend. So we're going to go right away to how to spawn a player, an NPC at the start base. So to start off, let's go to spawn station population. Okay, this is where you need to start. So if, for instance, in the starting system, if the server is generating, the whole galaxy, at some point it has to generate the starting system, and in the starting system there's this special function here that we're gonna go see that takes in the base system ID and information. Okay, or I think it's information about what we want to give, it's going to give information dot relations actually for our NPCs. So if we go down, you can see here that when you select your special function here, you press Ctrl F, bam, you're going to see that it draws 2 square there in your Visual Studio file. You just need to go down and you're going to see the function here with the generating an NPC. So we're going to go straight ahead to copying just the script for not the script. Well, yeah, the lines that generates one-eyed Joe at the main starting base. Okay, but we're gonna name that to tutorial NPC. Okay, you can see that when you're generating an NPC to the system, it gives out an ID, and the ID is going to be used in the other tiny lines of codes here right underneath. If you don't know what to write in here, it's normal. If you never modded Void Expanse, you need to go to the main website of Atomic Torch. Okay, I'm gonna explain it anyway, but you need to click then on community. Once you're in community, click on wiki. And as you can see, the team of Atomic Torch is working on Cryofall right now, which is a very nice game. Also very moddable. It's very soon, I believe, we're gonna be able to mod this game. But right now, we're modding Void Expanse. Also because I'm not done with my mods, and as I said, this is a tutorial on how to get started with modding in Void Expanse. Later on, at some point, I might do videos on Cryofall because it's a very nice game. But let's go ahead now on the wiki page and get our information for Void Expanse. So once you're here, you're gonna see the flag there for Void Expanse. You just click on modding or scripting. If you're searching for information, we're gonna go in modding. First, I'm just going to close all those scopes that we've already seen. And you see that this modding page here tells you exactly what you need to do for .cpk, .mpk in order to create a mod. But I'm still showing it right now. So we're just going to go back and we're going to select scripting instead. Okay, scripting, it shows you the scripting API, the scripting scopes that we need, in order to generate our NPC. So let's go ahead and open a tab for the generator one, and we're gonna open a tab for the relations one. Okay, now that we've got the generator one, I'm just gonna press Ctrl F and add NPC. Oh, it was already selected. So add NPC ship to system. You can see that this function here pretty much tells you all the arguments that you need to put in order to generate an NPC ship. But we're gonna go straight ahead to doing it on our own. As you can see here, for this function, so we're back in the NPC generator script. You can see that the first thing, it's not a well, it's kind of a string, but this is actually getting the information from a localization file inside of the core CPK. So we're gonna go in core CPK data, and then bam, we go down to scripts and then libs, and we're at the same spot as our NPC generator, but here in the core CPK we've got a localization file. Thing is, normally you should put here the names of the NPCs, and you just have to put this little argument here, this little line here, for instance, in your script, in order to choose the name if you want, or you can write it on your own. Earlier I used I0060 or $sign I0060, but it was already used, so we're not going to use that. We're going to use our own name. So it was tutorial NPC that we talked. In base sitter, what is base sitter? Oops, I forgot about that one. So it's the behavior, the script for the behavior of the NPC. So we're gonna go in core CPK scripts, and you can see that there's a script for base sitter. So what we're gonna do is just still copy it, even though we don't need to do it for the moment. But this is just to show you guys that you can pretty much even change the AI of your NPCs however you want to. That's pretty cool about this game, right? So we're just gonna go inside, and you can see that there's absolutely no information in here. So what we're gonna do is do AI for tutorial. There you go. I'm just gonna pick the name of this one, okay, and change it in our file here. So the AI that this NPC is gonna use is actually the AI that script that we just created, which has nothing inside of it. It's normal because it's gonna be a stay in station, uh, you know, stay in station NPC. Now you can see that the third argument here, it's the level that we're spawning our NPC. You can see that other, like when I join order recruiter have a level 5, we're gonna put this one to level 1, or we can leave it like that if we want. We're gonna just put it to level 1, and now we have the fourth argument here, which is the XML file for the NPC. We've already copied that one, I believe, in the NPC folder, and we've decided to call it tutorial NPC XML instead. You can go in the core CPK and find the special human tech ship, right? And going in special here and special human tech ship. This is the XML file that has the data of the NPC. We've went in it earlier. We changed the ID. Don't remember to do that if you're changing the name of the XML file, and we've removed the effects. Okay, so we're just gonna take the name of this dude here, the script, and we're gonna change it to tutorial NPC. Now, the next argument is the system ID. Well, it just takes in the system ID that is passed from the function, okay, from calling the function. Now, for the other two arguments, it's the x coordinates of the chosen base and the y coordinates of the chosen base. There's no z coordinates because it's a top-down game, or top like you see Void Expanse, or you play Void Expanse, you see that the ships, they only move in x and y. Okay, I could say. Well, normally y is like in Unity 3D or other programs. It depends. Like Blender uses y maybe in different. When it outputs, when you're exporting the objects, it's outputting the y in a different kind of orientation. But in this game, okay, we could say that the z is the y, but to not make it complicated, okay, it's just two axes horizontally, 2 axes. That's it. We're not using the vertical axis except for generating decorations and generating planets which have a depth. You can go in this XML files of generating, in this XML files of the planets. You're gonna see that there's a depth that you can choose the planet or decoration, I believe. Also to to have them at the different you know well, at this point we could say z coordinates, different depth. So it's a farmer. When I Joe, we can change that to a different class if there were more farmers in the game. If you would do a search from another script, you would find that there's two farmers. There's one I Joe, and there's going to be tutorial NPC. We don't really want that for the moment. So tutorial, we're going to change that to a, we're going to write it in tutorial NPC like that. This is gonna be our class, but we're not gonna use that for the moment. And the unique ID, well, we're gonna write it like this. And now a meta, well, this is a human. We could write down robot or stuff like that, or animal and all that stuff, but we're gonna leave it to a human, and it's a male. Okay, you can put that down right there. Now we've got to set the ship faction. Well, you can choose different factions in the game, like the pariahs, or as a starter class, or you can use none, and that's what we're gonna do. You can use the fanatics and the order, but we're gonna do none. Okay, it has no relations. Now, generator dock ship to base. Well, we want to dock a ship to the base, but which ship? Well, or which NPC? Well, the NPC that we've just created. And then we've got as a second argument the chosen base ID. Well, how do you find it? Well, it's been passed down from the function. You just take it and dot ID. It's pretty much like that in the rest of this script for every NPCs that you want to generate. Now you've got a ship set current area, and again it takes in an ID, and you just have to put it in office. You can change that to something else in the future, but I believe that this script, we're putting all the NPCs in the offices. Okay, set current area. Oh, here we've got command deck order for this special this NPC. But we're not gonna change that For the moment, we're going to leave it to offices. This is where we want to spawn him. Now, we've got the last one, which is the set the avatar. So we're going to go in our mod folder again, and we're going to go this time in content where we pasted the avatar. So in textures, avatar, we're just going to take, you can pretty much just take the whole, path there at the top by clicking on it and copying or pasting it, or you can press the right button there on your avatar and press properties, and you can pick the location right here. Okay, so it's your choice. No, actually, I think I'm wrong about that one. Yes, I'm wrong. Okay, but because you don't need the full path, you just need to it just needs to be in avatar, and then maybe a different folder, unique or special or whatever. You can name it whatever you want, as long as you write it in here. So our name of our guy is tutorial NPC, so we're just gonna change that right here and save it. It needs to be in a PNG format. Maybe it works in GPEG, maybe JPEG, but I'm not sure. I've always used PNG, so you can create your own PNGs for this game. It's pretty awesome too. So once we've saved the script, saved. So now we've got one more thing to do in order to start this, and it's go back to our atomic torch, inside of documents here. Okay, atomic torch, void expanse, the same folder that we were in, but we need to go in mods config. As you can see, it's as I said earlier, you can see your mods, the mods that we unpacked, the core mod, and we can see the DLC one that is there. We just need to copy paste that stuff, and now we're gonna change that to tutorial. Okay, and it's we're gonna put it at the end actually. Okay, there you go. I like to do that. Oops, I like to put my stuff there. So tutorial version 1.0.0. And is it a core mod? No, it's not a core mod. It's just like the DLC. It's an addition. So you put 0 instead of 1. Okay, and now we gotta find the path. And the path of our mod is actually here at the top. Like I said, just copy paste that, but it's not the full path, so we just need to change here at the end. Need to add the backslash, and then you just write down your mod. So it's tutorial.mpk. So save that stuff. There you go. So normally we should already be able to start our game. So we're just gonna double click on the shortcut of the server that we've put on our desktop earlier, and we're just gonna start. We're just gonna write new and press start, enter. Actually, so it's gonna generate. If there was an error, it would have already. Fuck. What did I do again? Sorry. What did I do? Okay, unknown XML NPC type ID. So it's telling you exactly the error. You just have to read it in order to fix it. So unknown XML NPC type ID tutorial NPC XML. So tutorial NPC XML. Why is it not finding it? No, what did I do wrong? Yeah. Oh. Well, it's in NPC. Oh, we didn't put it in special. Sorry. So we just have to put it in special. Okay. This file here. This is where it's supposed to be loaded. I believe, maybe. Let's start again and see if that fixes the error. So we'll just close down the server, just type new and then enter. Load, load, load. Perfect. So when you don't see any red, no. What a failure, man. I wanted this. What is going on? Tutorial NPC XML. NPCs. Maybe that's what I did wrong. Give me a second here. Oh, yeah, that's what I did. Oh, my God. NPCs with a S. Okay, because it wasn't finding it because I, failed writing the right folder name. So you can't open 2 servers at the same time unless you find a hack or something that works for opening 2 servers. So right now we don't see any red. Oh, come on. What is going on? Jesus. I was correct earlier. File doesn't exist. Avatars unique strong. Come on, it doesn't exist. So I'm gonna go back to content, and then textures. Textures is working, and then avatars. Ah, crap, I forgot. So we're gonna put a unique folder in here, and then bam, we just put the thing inside of there.
Flight control system.
There you go.
Online.
So we're inside the game now. Done a little bit of cutting of the video
Docking.
there. So we're gonna see that we're inside the station, and you just go in Dex, and then bam, we've got our tutorial NPC right here, man. But we don't have any quests yet. But we generated our NPC, it's working, and we don't have any errors there. So perfect.